Hello students of class 10. I'm going to continue with Act 4 Scene 1 of Merchant of Venice. In my last class I discussed about how Portia tells Shylock to be a little merciful because if he is not merciful, he cannot expect others to show mercy upon him because the quality of mercy cannot be forced and it is twice blessed. It blesses the one who receives and also the one who gives. So she tells Shylock a lot of things about mercy just to soften the heart of Shylock. But I don't think Shylock will be affected even a bit by what Portia had to say. So what he says is, "My deeds upon my head, I crave the law, the penalty, and forfeit of my bond." So what Shylock says is, yeah, I take the responsibility of whatever happens to me. I will not blame anybody for whatever happens. I just want justice and I want the law and I want my bond. These are the only things that I want and I take the responsibility of whatever may befall upon myself. I shall not blame anybody for anything that happens, any consequence that is there. So this is what Shylock had to say to Portia. And Portia says, is he not able to discharge the money? So Portia just asks the court and the people present there, is he not able to discharge the money? Is he not able to give money? Then Bassanio just intervenes and he says, yes, here I tender it for him in the court, yea, twice the sum. If that will not suffice, I'll be bound to pay it 10 times over on forfeit of my hands, my head, my heart. Yes, I'm here to offer it on behalf of the court. I shall pay him, and I shall pay him twice, thrice, 10 times, how much ever he wants, and I'm ready to give that money to him. Yes, here I tender it for him in the court, yea, twice the sum, and if that will not suffice, I will be bound to pay 10 times over on forfeit of my hands, my head, my heart. So Bassanio tells the court and also Portia that he is ready to pay twice the amount, and if that is not sufficient, he is even ready to pay the court 10 times the amount that Antonio had borrowed from Shylock. And if that is not sufficient, he says, if I am not able to pay that, you can take my heart, my head, my hands, everything away from me. You can cut it. You can cut my heart, my head and my hands if I am not able to pay the amount that I have said in the court. So Bassanio is ready to go to any length in order to save Antonio from the clutches of Shylock, because Bassanio knows very well that it is due to him that Antonio has come into such a problem. He has to face such a problem because of Antonio. Bassanio knows that fact very well. That's why he says, I'm ready to pay twice the sum, thrice the sum, even 10 times the sum. And if I am not able to discharge the money, then you can cut off my head, my heart and my hands. So he is ready to do that. If this will not suffice, it must appear that malice bears down truth. And I beseech you, rest once the law to your authority, to do a great right, to do a little wrong, and curb this cruel devil of his will. And if that is not sufficient, then I must say that malice, hatred, suppresses truth. So hatred is more important than truth if that is not sufficient. And he even says, I request you to bend the law a little bit. Bassanio even requests the Duke to do that. He says, I beseech you, rest once the law to your authority. Bend the law a little. To do a great right, to do a little wrong, and curb this cruel devil of his will. So please bend the law a little bit by committing a slight irregularity in this particular law, and let this devil not fulfill his wish. So Bassanio requests the Duke to be a little flexible in making his decisions, and regarding that case to be a little lenient towards Antonio, and stop the devil Shylock from extracting the pound of flesh and fulfilling his bond. So Bassanio also tries to save his friend Antonio from the clutches of Shylock, because it is due to Bassanio that Antonio is in such a problem today. So he makes the utmost request to the Duke so that Shylock would not be able to take his bond and fulfill his bond. Then Portia says, it must not be. There is no power in Venice can alter a decree established. No, that cannot happen. There is no power in Venice that can alter a fixed law. This is a fixed law. Nobody can change that law. It is already there. So there is no power in the law of Venice which can do this. This law is already fixed. So it cannot be altered, cannot be changed. She further says, it will be recorded for a precedent, and many an error by the same example will rush into the state. It cannot be. It will be recorded, and others will make a precedent and will rush to the state to grant similar concessions. It cannot be done, because it will be recorded, and even the other people will rush to the court to ask for a similar demand. They will also ask for the same kind of proceedings in the future, near future, for similar kind of concessions. So that's why it cannot be done. That is impossible. Because if it is done to one, then it has to be done to everybody. Because whatever happens in the court proceedings will be recorded. It will be kept as a record. So then other people will similarly proceed towards the court and ask for concessions. So it cannot be done. Then Shylock says, a Daniel come to judgment. Yea, a Daniel. O wise young judge, how I do honor thee. So on listening to this, Shylock becomes extremely glad. And he says, oh, Daniel has come to judgment. Oh, you wise Daniel. Oh, you wise judge. How I do respect you. So Shylock is extremely delighted on hearing this from Portia. So he regards Portia as Daniel. So Daniel is a wise person who's known for his judgment. He's very, very wise. And he is believed to give the right judgment to everybody. So when Portia says this, Shylock knew no bounds of happiness. So he says, oh my goodness, this Daniel has come to judgment. You are a wise judge. You know how to handle everything. Extremely delighted at what he heard from Portia. So, I pray you, let me look upon the bond. Here it is, most reverend doctor, here it is. So, Portia asked Shylock to show the bond to her. So, let me see the bond. And Shylock just presents, here it is, you take it and you see it. Here it is, wise judge, you see for yourself. Then Shylock, there's thrice the money offered thee. Then Portia says, Shylock, thrice the amount of money has been offered to you. Then Shylock says, an oath, an oath. I have an oath in heaven. Shall I lay perjury upon my soul? No, not for Venice. Then Shylock says, I know, but an oath is an oath. A promise taken is a promise taken. I have sworn by the holy Sabbath that I shall be taking my bond, and the oath is an oath. And do I need to give up my oath for Venice? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to break my oath just for the sake of Venice and for this person. I shall not do that because I've taken an oath by the holy Sabbath. And once an oath is taken, I cannot go back from that. So, why? This bond is forfeit, and lawfully by this, the Jew may claim a pound of flesh to be by him cut off near the merchant's heart. So, Portia tells everybody present in the court that the bond is due, and legally Shylock has the right to claim a pound of flesh from the merchant's heart. So even she looks at the bond and she feels that the Jew has a right to extract a pound of flesh from the merchant's heart. But she says, be merciful, take thrice thy money, bid me tear the bond. But she even tells or requests Shylock to be a little merciful. So she tells him to tear the bond, to cancel the bond. She tells him to take thrice the amount of money and to cancel the bond altogether. So even she makes a request to Shylock. But Shylock says, when it is paid according to the tenor, I'll tear the bond, I'll cancel the bond only when it is paid to me. So paid to me here means only when Antonio gives a pound of flesh from his body that was nearby his heart, then Shylock will be cancelling the bond. So not before that. He will do it only after his debt is paid. Only after the fulfillment of the bond, he is going to cancel the bond. It doth appear you are a worthy judge. You know the law. Your exposition has been most sound. So you seem to be like a good judge. You know the law. Your explanation has been very, very good here. I charge you by the law, whereof you are a well-deserving pillar. Proceed to judgment. So, since I have found you a very good judge, a worthy lawyer, I request you to proceed on to the judgment, to give the judgment. By my soul I swear there is no power in the tongue of man to alter me. I stay here on my bond. So I urge you to deliver your verdict. Nothing can change my mind. I shall take my bond, and I will not leave this court until and unless I have taken my bond. So he says, you are a very good lawyer. I know everything. You are a very sensible person. So that's why I request you to give the judgment. And I shall take my bond and go, and nothing less than that. All that I want is the fulfillment of my bond, and Antonio has to give me a pound of flesh from nearby his heart. And I shall not go from here until and unless you give me that. So, despite many requests, Shylock is not ready to listen to anybody present in the court, not even the Duke. So, he is so much adamant to take the pound of flesh from Antonio's body, and he will make sure that he does it. He will make sure that he does it. So he has made his point very, very clear that he will not go away from the court without fulfilling the bond, without taking what is written there in the bond, what is signed there. He will not go from there. So he tells the Duke and even Portia to give the judgment as soon as possible, because Shylock will not go from there until and unless the right is given to him. Antonio says, "Most heartily I do beseech the court to give the judgment." Then you see, Antonio also now is fed up of seeing the discussions and the quarrel going on between various people. So what he says is, "Come on, please, you please give the judgment. Please, now deliver the verdict, give the verdict." Antonio says that. "Why then thus it is, you must prepare your bosom for his knife." "Oh, then here it is. If you want the judgment to be passed soon, yes, here it is. Take the verdict and prepare your bosom, means your body, for his knife. Because he is so earnest to take a pound of flesh from your body. So you also be ready to give your body to this Jew. And for his knife, you make your body ready." Then Shylock says, "Oh, noble judge, oh, excellent young man." So Shylock extremely glad at hearing this. So he's saying, "Oh, noble judge, you are an excellent young man, such a good person." For the intent and purpose of the law had full relation to the penalty which here appeareth due upon the bond. So the law authorizes the penalty which you have to pay according to the contract. Yes, of course, you have to. The penalty is very much valid. The law authorizes the penalty and you have to give it. "It's very true, O wise and upright judge. How much more elder art thou than thy looks? Oh, very true, you young judge, you wise judge. You look very young, but your thoughts are so old. You are so wise and so intelligent. Oh, my learned judge." Shylock is extremely delighted to hear what Portia is saying, very little knowing that after some time things will go the other way round. But right now he is ecstatic. He is very, very happy. "Therefore, lay bare your bosom." Therefore, now uncover your body, uncover your bosom, because he has to extract the pound of flesh. "Ah, his breast, so says the bond. Thought it not, noble judge? Nearest his heart. Those are the very words." So when Portia tells Antonio, "Now lay bare your bosom," then Shylock says, his breast. You just, you know what the bond says? It says nearest to the heart. Those are the exact words in the bond. So now you have to lay bare your bosom, your body. And you know where the flesh is going to be extracted from? Nearest the heart. Those are the very words that are there in the bond. Shylock reminds everybody what is there in the bond. It is so. Are there balance here to weigh the flesh? So Portia says, "Yes, it is. And is there anything to weigh the flesh? I have them ready." So Shylock had even brought the machine on which the flesh is going to be weighed. So he says, yeah, I have it ready. I have it here. You can have it. Portia says, have by some surgeon Shylock on your charge to stop his wounds, lest he do bleed to death. Come on, Shylock, please bring a doctor at your expense to stop his blood from his wounds, otherwise he will bleed to death. So Portia even tells Shylock, you please bring a doctor at your own expense, so that when the blood oozes out of Antonio's heart, he should not die. He should not bleed to death. So that's why she tells him, you even bring a doctor at your own expense. So she tells Shylock to do even this, even to bring a doctor at his own expense, that also, so that Antonio will not bleed to death. Because once the blood starts oozing out, then a person's life will be in great danger. So she doesn't want Antonio to lose his life. So that's why she tells Shylock to bring a doctor at his own expense. So in this class, what we have seen today is how Portia tells Shylock to be a little merciful and to take thrice the amount of money and to let go of the bond, to let Antonio be free. But Shylock does not want to listen to anybody. He says, I have sworn by my holy Sabbath, and an oath is an oath and I am going to take it. He says that, and he even says, I will not go from the court until and unless I am given what is rightfully mine. So Shylock is so adamant to take a pound of flesh from Antonio's body. So he doesn't want to go from there until and unless he takes that pound of flesh from Antonio's body. That also nearby his heart. That is what is mentioned in the bond. And he has even brought a machine to weigh the flesh of Antonio. And he does not listen to the request of Bassanio, Portia, anybody, because he just wants to take revenge on Antonio by extracting that pound of flesh from his body. So this is what we discussed in today's class. So I'll wind up the class for today, class 10, and I shall be posting some notes, some question and answers. You please go through them, you learn them, and if you have any difficulties, you can post your questions to me, you can ask me your doubts, you can clarify your doubts. Okay, class 10? One request to you, if you have any kind of difficulty, you can watch this video again, and even then if you are not able to understand, then you can always ask your questions to me.